Loving Sairams to all. I'm hoping that with Swami's love and divine grace, all of you are continuing to do really well. Thank you all for joining us during our weekly devotional meeting. As we are in fall already and we approach winter, we still have some exciting programs lined up. Next week is going to be 24-hour long Akhanda Bhajans, and many teams from our region, different centers and different groups have worked together. And this is working as Swami would want us to do. Work in a united fashion to lovingly place at his lotus feet a garland of 24-hour bhajans. So please join us for that. The following week, celebrating Swami's 95th birthday, we have another regional program. Swami has really shown us every week how easy it is to connect with him, be it through chanting his holy name, Namasmarana, listening to different spiritual talks, watching some of his videos, and even singing bhajans, right? Many of us connect through listening and singing bhajans. And we are truly blessed by Swami himself with today's speakers. They are brothers Kumar and brother Srinivasan, who have been Sundaram Sai singers. And they sing beautifully, play instrument beautifully. And we are indeed truly blessed to hear their experience sharing and how to connect with Swami through simple singing of bhajans. And this comes in very timely as we approach Akhanda Bhajans next week. Moderating the talk today is our very own President Balu Karanam. Balu, please take it away. Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you, Vinny, for your kind introduction. Thank you, Brother Kumar and Brother Srinivasan, for accepting our invitation and being with us for this satsang, which happens just a week before our, Akhanda Bhajans. So Swami is sending both of you, wonderful singers, from the Sundaram to Region 3 Satsang. And also on behalf of the devotees from the Region 3 and all those who are watching from other regions and other countries, we welcome you to this Satsang. Our first question is, how did this journey to Swami started for you and your family? We would like to hear from you.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Respected elders, sisters, brothers and children of Region 3, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We want to express our deepest love and gratitude to our Lord Sai and offer our salutations at his lotus feet. Also express our gratitude to Brother Balu for making this satsang possible, and our heartfelt thanks to all the office bearers of Region 3 for having us in this program. Before we begin, our appreciation goes to the entire team of Region 3 for the satsang Ramakatha Rasavakini we watched in September. And special thanks to all the children for putting together a wonderful program, displaying their love and devotion for Swami. It was beautifully done. We also enjoyed the bhajan session that was done in Parthi style by the two devotees with so much enthusiasm and humor. See, we've been so fortunate to listen to inspiring talks by students, devotees, and watch satsangs online during this COVID time. Never did we realize that we will be asked to share our experience of coming to Swami, and it was a very pleasant surprise. We are honored, at the same time humble at the opportunity given. This satsang is going to be a little different while we give a glimpse of our journey to Swami through bhajans. And trust me, it's not anything philosophical. We will give our perspective. Although we had no talents whatsoever, we were not musically trained, and we were not part of any Balvika's group. We did not know anything about Swami. Yet, it is out of his infinite compassion that Swami showered his blessings on us on several occasions, including making us part of Sundaram and Vrindavan Bhajan group. If you are alive today during these difficult times, healthy and happy, it's only due to Swami's grace. Swami had personally taken care of my father till his end, and he continues to take care of my mother. And true to his assurance that he will always take care of this family, he's been doing so till date. So Swami coming into our life was no coincidence. It is only due to the punya of our ancestors and forefathers. We pray to you, Swami, to speak through us today and bless this satsang. Now we want to take you down our memory lane, where we will give you a glimpse of our childhood and family background. There's nothing extraordinary to talk about our childhood. We were growing up in Madurai like normal children, leading a very simple traditional life. We were very happy, contented with just limited needs. As you may know, Madurai is a sacred city known for its rich history and Meenakshi Amman temple. Our parents, grandmother from father's side, had a great influence in shaping our lives, be it helping them in daily chores, disciplined living, education, and going to temples, participating in devotional activities, Kada Kalakshipam, and so on and so forth. And of course, learning and chanting of slokas. Father's love for his mother and his single-pointed devotion to Lord Ayyappa is worth mentioning here, because Swami himself acknowledged that whatever prayers of my father, he was the one who was receiving it. Mother is a beautiful soul, loving soul, and she's our source of our strength, unity, inspiration. And she had so much love for Swami. And Swami acknowledged that and then materialized a lingam later that Chino will be sharing that story in the coming minutes. My grandmother used to be very strict, disciplined, and she insisted that we follow her instructions, like taking cold shower in the morning and chant slokas in wet dhotis. That's how Chinu and myself, we used to chant Mahisashramardini, Kalyana Rupaya Kalojana on a daily basis. Though both of us studied in a Christian school, we chanted Mahisashramardini, the whole 18 slokas, in front of about 3,000 students during school assembly. And we were often called the Aigiri Vikri brothers in a lighter vein. So grandmother also taught us many things, cooking and gardening. And during this time, we got introduced to harmonium. As we couldn't afford a harmonium that time, my father used to take us often to a musical store where the owner would allow us to, let us play and practice. That's how our enthusiasm in learning harmonium and playing started. We had seen materialization of Swami's Vibhuti and Kumkum in our Madurai house, near the place where we used to do prayers. But we were, we didn't take much notice of it. We didn't know what it is. It used to smell so good. But it's really in year 1970 that we recognized that Swami coming into our lives. We came to know of Swami only through our brother-in-law, Dr. P.V. Shankar, whom we have high regards and whom we look up to for his wisdom and guidance, that we came to know of Swami. He was doing his PhD in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore at that time. So he happened to read two books of Swami, Jnanavahini and Dhyanavahini. Probably he would have read it multiple times, and he got completely convinced that Swami is God. And he wanted to share this beautiful news, his belief that Swami is God, with his mother, our grandmother, and he took a trip and shared that news with his mother. Our grandmother, being a Krishna devotee, she immediately trusted his words and completely and with no hesitation, she made Swami the focal point from then onwards. Once she heard about Swami, she wanted to know more about Swami, the happenings in Parthi. So she wanted to implement them. She started initiating those activities in a village called Arinaigapuram. Yes, Arinaigapuram was our Parthi. It was a temple village where the temple is located at the center of the village, and houses surrounded on four sides, what we call Agrahara. In fact, Swami had visited a place called Mukudal, which is very close to Arinaigapuram, 3 kilometers, in the year 1963. This community is a very close-knit community. Everybody knew everyone. And if there's any function, everybody would participate, and they will come and help, take part in marriage. So that's a beauty in it. And by this time, our grandmother was popularly known as Baba Pati. She had initiated the Nagar Sangeetan and weekly bhajans, which we used to take part. We go to this village during our vacation. The beauty is the bhajans were so vibrant. There was no mic audio system. It's just simple Ganjira and Shruti box. But the bhajan sessions used to be so beautiful. And the thing is, after the bhajan, we can see Swami's materialization of vibhuti, mountain of them, and kumkum dots. And my grandmother, being a Krishna devotee, the materialization would happen a footprint of Krishna's impression. This will happen around my grandfather's legs. So after the bhajans, we go and see it curiously. So this news spread. So the Sunday bhajan became popular, and people came from far off places, hundreds of them every week. Knowing my grandmother being so hospitable, she'll make prasadam like vade and poli and tea, cocoa tea and coffee. And Swami will make sure those items will never go empty. Everybody will have their share. And that was one of our side attractions. Snack was a side attraction. My grandmother also, during this time, she will never waste time. She will she had started the Balvikas, and she will organize a place, Geeta Govindam, that we remember, that she organized, and then props will be made. The children will participate, and there will be exuberance, there will be bliss everywhere. Those are our days in Arinaigapuram, which we call it mini Parthi. And coincidentally, Brother T.V. Hariharan is from the same village. Now, Chino and I want to give a flavor of the bhajans we were exposed when we were spending our time in Arinaigapuram. Namaha Om Satya Sai Krishnaya Namaha Om.
Namaha Om Satya Sai Krishnaya Namaha Om.
Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Govindaya Namaha Om.
Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Govindaya Namaha Om.
Yadavaya Keshavaya Madhavaya Namaha Om.
Yadavaya Keshavaya Madhavaya Namaha Om.
Radha Ramana Madhusudanaya Namaha Om.
Radha Ramana Madhusudanaya Namaha Om.
Bansidhara Muralidhara Giridharaya Namaha Om.
Bansidhara Muralidhara Giridharaya Namaha Om.
Namaha Om Satya Sai Krishnaya Namaha Om.
Jaya 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 Jagavandini Ma.
Jaya 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 Jagavandini Ma. जय परमेश हृदयवासिनी मां।
आदिशक्ति परब्रह्म स्वरूपिणी
आदिशक्ति परब्रह्म स्वरूपिणी
जगजननी चतुर्वेद विलासिनी
जगजननी चतुर्वेद विलासिनी
शाम्भविनोदिनी माता भवानी
शाम्ब विनोदिनी माता भवानी
शाम्भवी शङ्करि मोक्षप्रदायिनी
शाम्भवी शङ्करी मोक्षप्रदायिनी
जय 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 जगवन्दिनी
रघुपते श्री रामचंद्र राघवा दया निधे
रघुपते श्री रामचंद्र राघवा दयानिधे
रघुपते श्री रामचंद्र राघवा दया निधे
रघुपते श्री रामचंद्र राघवा दयानिधे
पशुपते श्री पार्वतीशा शंकरा सदा शिवा
पशुपते श्री पार्वतीशा शंकरा सदाशिवा
पशुपते श्री पार्वतीशा शंकरा सदा शिवा
पशुपते श्री पार्वतीशा शंकरा सदाशिवा
माधव श्री राधिकेशा गोविंदा हरे कृष्णा
माधव श्री राधिकेशा गोविंदा हरे कृष्णा
माधवा श्री राधिकेशा गोविंदा हरे कृष्णा
माधव श्री राधिकेशा गोविंदा हरे कृष्णा
साई रामा साई श्यामा सत्य साई राघवा
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 रघुपते श्री रामचंद्र राघवा दया निधे
वृंदावन के वनमाली मनमोहन मुरली धारी
वृंदावन के वनमाली मनमोहन मुरलीधारी हे दीनबन्धु दीननाथ पाहि साई शंकरा।
हे दीनबन्धु दीननाथ पाहि साई शंकरा।
हे त्रिनेत्र हे पवित्र विमल चरित रक्षमा।
हे त्रिनेत्र हे पवित्र विमल चरित रक्षमा।
परम पुरुष प्रतिनिवास सत्य साई शंकरा।
परम पुरुष पति निवास सत्य साई शंकरा।
हे दीनबन्धु दीननाथ पाहि साई शंकरा।
विष्णु मोहिनी साई नारायणी।
विष्णुमोहिनी साई नारायणी।
क्षीराब्धि तनये लक्ष्मी नारायणी।
क्षीराब्धि तनये लक्ष्मी नारायणी।
लक्ष्मी मनोरम कांचन वरुणे।
लक्ष्मी मनोरम कांचन वरुणी।
कमलाकामिनी साई नारायणी।
कमला कामिनी साई नारायणी।
सुख संप्रत संवाक्य प्रदायिनी।
सुख संप्रत वाक्य प्रदायिनी।
विष्णु मोहिनी साई नारायणी।
पाहि पाहि परमेश्वरा।
पाहि पाहि परमेश्वरा।
शिव गंगाधरा शंकरा।
शिव गंगाधरा शंकरा।
डम 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 डमरुकनाथा।
डम 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 डमरुकनाथा।
दिमितक दिमितक नटन मनोहर।
दिमितक दिमितक नटन मनोहर।
तांडव प्रिय शंकरा।
तांडव प्रिय शंकरा।
पाहि पाहि परमेश्वरा।
कंदा कुमरा वडिवेला।
कंदा कुमरा वडिवेला।
गौरी पुत्र वडिवेला।
गौरी पुत्र वडिवेला।
कार्तिकेया करुणासागर।
कार्तिकेया करुणासागर।
दीन शरण्या वडिवेला।
दीन शरण्या वडिवेला।
श्री साईनाथ वडिवेला।
श्री साईनाथ वडिवेला।
कंदा कुमरा वडिवेला।
We were blessed with the first darshan of Swami in the year 1975 when we visited Bombay during our vacation. And we did not know Swami was also there in Bombay at that time. It was a sheer coincidence. We were so young. Looking at the huge gathering, we were awestruck. We had no idea. This is the first time we were seeing a gathering of devotees in such large numbers, and the decoration, the majesty of the place, the bhajans were so amazing. We were really in bliss. So every day when Swami stayed in Dharmakshetra, we used to go and spend the days. And our side attraction also was the opportunity to see Manoj Kumar, actor Manoj Kumar. He then acted a movie called Shiriki Sai, and then we happened to see that movie. So our attraction also was to see him on stage. That was our initial darshan of Swami. And during our stay also, we used to go to a place called Sarvodaya temple in Ghatkopar, where we lived, and we used to attend bhajans. That is what we remember as our interaction during that time. And then Swami blessed us with another darshan in the year 1978 when we all visited Vrindavan, Bangalore. So we vividly remember these two incidents. Then the whole family moved to Chennai. We had a small stay in Salem. Salem is they have very powerful centers in Salem. We were there for a short period, and then we moved to Chennai, Madras. It's called Madras those days, in the year 1980. By then, my mom's strength, faith is increased in Swami, and she insisted the boys have to take part. That's when she asked us to, take part in Sevadal, bhajans. That's when I got inducted into Sevadal group in Sundar. So Swami also was planning a visit. That was in 1983, during January 1983, and then there was a lot of activities going on. And this was also in preparation of his birthday. Our main activity used to be on Sundays in a place called Abbotsbury. It's a Sai Kripa, also called Sai Kripa, where thousands of patients come, disabled, people needing medications. And my main activity was to, read material, whatever the blind people wanted. I played that small role. And then village adoption. As part of village adoption, we go to a village near Sundaram, and we take part in cleaning and seva activities there. Swami also blessed us with an opportunity to go to Shirdi temple in Guinea. Apparently, this land was owned by one Loknath Mudaliya, who became an ardent devotee of Swami after his life-changing experience with Swami, where Swami cured his sickness. So, coincidentally, Professor Anil Kumar's son-in-law, Sham, was also part of the Seva Dharma. As part of Seva activities and Sundaram activity, we used to have Nagar Sangeetan once a month, and Sevadals were given an opportunity to lead. And that's when I was asked to lead a bhajan. And that's how I came into Sundaram bhajan group. Shall we sing the first two bhajans that we sang in Sundaram together? Sure.
Chitta Chora Murali Wala Nandala Nanda Gopala Nandala Nandala Vrindavan Shama Gopala Mathura Vijagora Bala Manamohana Madana Gopala Nandala Chora Murali Wala Nandala Nandala Rama Nama Bolo Sai Rama Bolo Radhe Shyam Gana Shyam Jai Bolo Rama Nama
Kumar and Srinivasan. It is wonderful to hear those bhajans. I really don't want to stop you when you are singing bhajans, since your journey has all the way brought you all to Chennai. Now you are at Sundaram. Would like to hear from you of the Sundaram days experiences and how exactly you could get into that Sundaram Bhajan group, which is very hard and highly disciplined group. So I'd like to hear from you. Maybe we'll hear from Brother Srinivasan, and also I want Kumar you to share your Brindavan days experiences too as a singer.
Now I'll pass it over to Chino to continue.
Sairam. That was a beautiful introduction by Kumar of how the seeds of Swami awareness were sown in. I'll quickly get back to what I was doing in my educational career before I jump to how I came about being inducted into the Sundaram Bhajan group. In 1982, I finished my graduation in Bachelor of Science. Then I was trying for admission to Master of Science courses in university. It was a big issue because only 8 seats were there, and then the competition was very heavy. Not that I had not scored bad, but the competition was high, and then I was not successful in getting a seat. And then in between, I was trying for admission to BITS Pilani for an engineering course also. That was going on, and suddenly my brother-in-law told me that you can pursue a course in CA, Chartered Accountancy. So our basic thing was, Kumar and I, we never opposed anything to whatever we were advised by our elders. So we took it on the face value, and then we never objected to that. Like when our brother-in-law said that Swami is our God, we accepted it and then started worshipping him. That was a sort of obedience that we had built up. In modern sense, they would call it dumb, but we accepted it gleefully. In the meanwhile, once I took up Chartered Accountancy, I had to go to Bangalore for a short period of 9 months. So that's where my involvement with bhajans started increasing. You wouldn't believe, we attended bhajans from Monday till Sunday. In spite of having a visit to Vrindavan to see Swami, we'll come back and then attend the last bhajan for the week. So that was the way in which we conducted our lives there. So bhajan was slowly infused. And then owing to my mother's health, I had to move to Chennai. That's the period I came down in 1983. All this time I was cheating myself as to whether I would come out of this chartered accountancy, because I had spent 15 years of my education in science. I had majored in nuclear physics. Now my future was getting very unclear. So I was thinking how to come out of it. In the meanwhile, I shifted to Madras, and then that's the time Kumar had joined the Balvika's Sevadal group, and then we got a chance to sing Swami bhajans. That was unprecedented in Sundaram history. The first time, without any checking, any audition, the devotional coordinator was kind enough to make us sing, and then we continuously sang for 3 weeks. That was also unprecedented. The guys who had no prior musical experience were given a chance. That's purely due to Swami's grace. So while this was going on, this was like entering United States without a visa for me. So I was not formally affiliated to any Sai center in Chennai. I was new from Bangalore, and then I suddenly got to sing bhajans. So now they wanted a formal induction to take place, and then that's the time preparations were going on for Swami's impending visit in January 1985. So they started recruiting people, youngsters, for the bhajan group. Imagine the kind of applications received for getting into the Sundaram Bhajan group. It was a big event from morning 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And then the number of singers were too many. Many of them were musically trained, and then I was really shocked to see the presence of so many people talented. This is where I would like to bring in Sri Balukarnam's statement that Swami doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. So I strongly believed in that when it happened. So there was an audition conducted. It was a big event, and then the panel of judges were none other than Adi Narayana Rao, the famous Andhra Pradesh music director, film music director, was the husband of Anjali Devi, and then state president, district president, and then in addition there were devotional coordinators. People from all corners of Sai Center spread around Chennai had attended that event. I was mentally thinking that I will lose my chance. Just to give a background of 1984 Swami's visit, it was a rigorous effort for us. Every day morning we had to wake up early. Before Nagar Sankirtan we had to catch a bus and then come to Sundaram, and then we had to wait till 11 o'clock until the morning session was over. It was very arduous, and then the crowd was unmanageable, and it was really tiring. And then more than my suffering, I saw my mother suffer staying outside the Sundaram premises waiting for darshan. It was always a Doordarshan television for my mother and myself. At least for that sake I was praying to God that I should somehow get into the bhajan group so that my mother will have a good darshan of Swami, and then I used to see people coming in white and white, young people going inside, whereas we were not allowed to go inside. I thought this was a good desire to have. I think Swami answered it in his own ways. So the audition test was conducted, and then I was thinking that I didn't stand a chance, but still the devotional coordinator told me to sing because I had sung before him thrice. So this is the bhajan I sang, and then I'll let you know. I finished my bhajan, and then I was waiting for the result, and then the devotional coordinator later in the evening came and told me that I am happy you sang on Shruti, and then you have been selected to join the bhajan group. Oh, that was a great relief from the point of view of my mother's suffering to get Swami's darshan, because I'm again stating that mother was the one who initiated everything in our home. Like, she never missed Suprabhatam in the morning, and then she never missed a Thursday bhajan session. She would just put the cassette and then sit rigorously for 45 to 1 hour and then conduct the bhajans, irrespective of whether we attended or not. And then she also attended the Sundar bhajans every week without fail. We will be watching movies then. So that was the love and devotion she had for Swami. So I think that first desire was fulfilled. I was very happy. In the meanwhile, I'll tell you briefly on the preparations that we were making for our Swami's visit. Now I have to get back to my career as to what I was doing with my chartered accountancy also. Now it came to a point that I'm stuck with this course. I have no other go, because I didn't get any of the subjects that I wanted. Now I am forced to study this chartered accountancy exam. So I joined this articleship training program, where my colleagues were telling me that we have to write an exam, and then it's a long haul. It's not going to be easy. Since you come from a science background, you'll have to appear for the exams many times. So my first exam was in October 1984. Chartered accountancy was a dreaded course in our times for an average student like me. These were the not to go courses: medicine, chartered accountancy. See, when I was in hostel for 2 years in Chennai doing BSc, I used to see the commerce graduates studying with tons and tons of books on accountancy, never realizing that I would be doing the same thing. Here I am reminded of Ramana Maharishi's quote: "The ordiner controls the fate of the souls dependent on the prarabdha karma." Whatever is destined to happen, however hard you try not to make it happen. Whatever is destined not to happen, it will not happen however hard you try. So that's what I ended up taking up this course, which I hated the most. I'm going to put a full stop now. I'm going to have the second session of Swami's visit and then how I fared in the CA exam. I will now pass it to Kumar to tell his experiences in Vrindavan.
So my stay in Sundaram as a bhajan singer was short. In the year 1984, I moved to Bangalore, and then I used to stay with my second sister and brother-in-law. Brother-in-law was in the Vrindavan bhajan group, and then he inducted me into the bhajan group. Was audition trained by none other than Mrs. Parvati Mahadevan, Brigadier Seshamani, his wife Mrs. Shamala Seshamani, Mrs. Sridharan, and those sessions were so beautiful. We heard that whenever Mrs. Parvati Mahadevan sings this particular song, Mandiru Miya Madhava, Swami used to say, Parvati is calling me, I should go now. So there were only no harmony players per se. You know, there was one Mr. Iyengar, he used to play for him, for his bhajans, and Brigadier Seshamani used to play for him. So I was asked to play harmonium, and there were many beautiful opportunities Swami blessed us with, not only sitting right in front of him, few feet away, but a lot of bhajan opportunities. We used to lead bhajans together, and those were all pleasant memories. Swami used to visit Vrindavan, very often. And those days, we used to spend our Sundays from morning till evening, whenever Swami was around. And as part of the Sevadal and Vrindavan Bhajan group, we also go and do Seva activities. There was a leprosarium we used to visit, and then we sing along with the residents at the bhajans. And then we were also part of the Malleshwaram Center. Beautiful experience. Again, we adapted a village called Chokinahalli in Bangalore. And Swami initiated the movement that each center has to adopt, and then we literally built a temple, and we used to go once a month to do seva there and teaching, distribution of medicines and food and everything. That will be another a wonderful experience that I can recall. So like Chinu mentioned, we used to have bhajans Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll be completely bhajaned out for the whole week, including Nagar Sangeetans on every Sunday. Now coming to my marriage, my parents and I went to take Swami's blessings, and Swami blessed the wedding and put akshada on us. And even on the day of the marriage, we had a beautiful bhajan session, and some of the Vrindavan Bhajan group joined and started our marriage life. It is amazing to see how Swami even pulled my in-laws, into his fold. Swami gave a small role to my father-in-law, gave him an interviewing small role to play in the super specialty hospital construction by, installing solar lights. So that's how Swami makes sure, true to his assurance that he'll take care of the entire family. It extends not only just, it'll extend to our in-laws as well. I want to share with you one of my favorite bhajans during those Vrindavan days that was composed and sung by Mrs. Parvati Mahadevan many occasions when in front of Swami, and I would like to sing it here. प्राण नहीं नंदानंद मुकुंद साई नाम बिना प्राण नहीं गावो रे गुण गावो रे गंगा यमुना तीर चलो रे गंगा यमुना तीर चलो रे नाम बिना प्राण नहीं.
Sairam, that's beautiful, beautiful to hear and hear from you and hear your bhajans, both Kumar and Srinivasan. In this last segment, which is, called memorable experiences, your experiences with the divine and occasions of Swami's grace, wherever you are, whether in India, in Puttaparthi, or in New Jersey, anywhere. Swami is everywhere, so this grace will flow everywhere. So we'd like to hear from you some of those wonderful experiences. Please share with us.
I had earlier mentioned in my talk that Swami had showered his blessings on us on several occasions. I would like to recall 3 occasions of Swami's grace. One in August of 2003, when my son was lost in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia for 33 hours. We had almost lost hope. We sent a telegram to Swami, and Swami blessed us. He even acknowledged that it was he who saved him from the disaster waiting to happen. Our second occasion of Swami's blessing was my father was suffering from kidney issues, diabetic, and then the doctor said he has to be put on dialysis. Both the kidneys failed. When this was told to Swami, Swami said, no, one kidney is fine. He should go to New York and then stay with his son, and I will take care of everything, including insurance. True to his word, Swami really took care till the end. So in recognition of that, we wanted to pay our respects and gratitude to Swami. The whole family, 16 of us, went to Parthi and stayed there for about 10 days. Every day we had beautiful darshan, and on the last day Swami gave Pada Namaskar and blessed each and every one of us, and told us repeatedly, don't worry, be happy always. The last but not the least, fast forwarding to 2010, my family and Chin's family made a visit as part of US pilgrimage in 2010, and we had such a wonderful time. Everyone was blessed. Everyone had a role to play, whether it's choir or taking part in SSC program, play, or even leading bhajans. And little did we know that it was the last opportunity to see Swami in physical form, and Swami blessed that opportunity too. So we are ever grateful to Swami. He's the one who's taking care of us, like the mother cat taking care of kitten. We didn't take any efforts, we don't deserve it, but still he intervened, and he's still making our lives so beautiful and blessed. And thank you, Swami, for everything. Jai Sai Ram.
Continuing with the preparation for Swami's visit in 1984, December time, we wanted to give something good and unique to Swami, so we started practicing. That was the time they wanted to try all the youngsters. Obviously, I was a beginner as far as singing was concerned, so there were beautiful singers in our devotional coordinator, and then plenty of good singers to lead the bhajans. So I thought of taking some activities so that I could be of help, and then I could be in the bhajan group firmly. I told them, I gave my name for harmonium playing. So initially I was given a small harmonium, and then I asked to sit in the 4th row where there won't be any mics, so I could play and then practice along with the bhajan session. So this is how we used to learn the chords. Even the seniors felt that we should present nicely to Swami. So we started learning cards playing. I'll just give you an example. We start a bhajan, and then each line when it ends, we used to locate the cards, and then this is how we fixed the bhajan singing and the playing. Shiva Shambho Shambho, Shiva Shambho Mahadeva. It was 7 major. I'm singing on 3 pancha major, and then it ends on 7 major. Hara 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 Mahadeva Shiva Shambho. So we split individual bhajans into individual lines, and then we practiced and then learned the cards. This is how we learned the cards, and then that's the first time we came to know, at least myself came to know what was a major bhajan, what was a bhajan with a minor chord. This is how our practice was. And then remember, Swami's visit was going to be for a period of 10 days. And then each day we had Nagar Sankirtan, we had bhajans, and then Swami used to visit outside Abbotsbury, Perambur, Gindi, and so on. So for each section and then packages, we had to prepare bhajans. It was a long bhajan preparation sessions that we had, which was wonderful. And then in the meanwhile, while we come for practice, we would involve ourselves with the Sevadals in the beautification of the Sundaram Hall. Like when Swami, when the day occurred when Swami visited Sundaram in 1985, the first day the Suprabhadam was performed by our bhajan group, and then Professor Sridhar, I think, who is in Parthi, who played the Veena live, and then with the Shruti box, the devotional conveners sang a Suprabhadam. It was so beautiful. And then after we went round the first Nagar Sankirtan, and then we came, and then we saw Swami standing on the lotus, a slide of which has been shown to you. It would look like as if he was in a Pushpaka Vimana floating in the air, on the lotus he was standing there. It was a wonderful sight, and then it would make anybody devotional, and then the love for Swami would increase. So that's how our bhajan preparations were. And then Swami came in, and then one of the days, see, this is our practice. We come early in the morning, attend Suprabhadam, Nagar Sankirtan, morning session bhajans, and then we used to go back home, refresh ourselves, and then come back for the evening session. One such session, some of the boys didn't go. We were staying in the library underneath the Shanti Vedika hall. We were just talking about bhajans and other stuff. Suddenly we got a call from Sri T.G. Krishnamurti. He was running around and then looking for, where are the boys, where are the boys? Swami wants to talk to the boys. Suddenly we got alerted, and then a few of us were able to go and then present ourselves inside the interview room. And then Swami came in and then sat on the throne, and then he was talking to us for a long time, and then he was telling about the importance of bhajans, and then how we should carry ourselves. Like, instead of like being pure outside by wearing white and white, he said your hearts also should be pure. And then we used to board the bus and then walk a distance to reach Sundaram. Swami would say that you should have a one-pointed focus. You should not look hither and thither. Always look at the destination that you have to reach. So that one-pointedness was taught to us then. And then Swami was quoting the practice followed by the famous singer in Andhra Pradesh, Ghantasala. He used to tell us that he used to go to the beach and then sing at that Shruti for a long time. And then he said that you should practice one single bhajan, however simple or however hard it is, for 100 times, so that you will be in a position to present it. These were the nice tips that Swami gave. And then at the end of the interview, Swami was very happy with us. And then I think we were even called farm boys then. He was so happy with our demeanor and then behavior, and then we were also happy. And then Swami materialized Vibhuti and then gave it to the devotional convener, and then he was climbing up the throne, and then he was about to walk. I was standing right in his path. I was kneeling down, and then I was praying to Swami. He smeared Vibhuti on my forehead, and then he was very happy, and then I thought I got the blessing of my life. This is a precursor to what's going to happen next. After Swami's visit, which was a wonderful experience, I had to go to Hyderabad for an audit, being in the articleship. So the results were to come. As I had told you, the exams were postponed by 2 weeks, and then I was not at all happy with my performance, because this is the first time I'm writing an accounts exam without any prior experience. So what I used to do was write the answers at the last page of my answer paper and then repeat it with a pen after finding out whatever I've written is right or wrong. So look at this scenario. You would be given 6 big problems and then you have to finish it. I couldn't finish everything on time. I knew that I had not fared well, and then I was just recollecting the words spoken by my colleagues that it's going to be a hard drill. So I was literally prepared, and then it was a kind of innocent surrender, because I didn't know what was going to happen, but I didn't worry about it. And then with that thought that the results were going to come, and then I was in Hyderabad doing the audit. And then on the day the result was going to come, I got a dream, beautiful dream in the morning, wherein Swami appeared before me, and then he said that don't be scared, I'll take care of you. You will pass this exam with 200 marks. This is what he exactly said. So I'll just give you what it is making up 200 marks. You have to score 200 marks. There are 4 subjects. The pass mark was 40. So if you get 80 in one other subject, you could get anything above 40, but the total should be 200. Swami had told my sister also that I would take care of your family, give them enough to fit your needs. That's why he said he will get 200 marks. So I was very happy with the dream, and then I conducted the day, and then all of a sudden at about before lunchtime, I got a telegram from our audit firm, the partner sending me a message. Srinivasan, you have passed, you have scored 200 marks. I couldn't believe it. This is what happened. You know why they had sent the telegram? Because during those days, you know that there were no phones. They were very happy because I am the first guy to pass the exam in the first attempt. I know that who had written the exam or who had corrected the paper, because if it was from a worldly sense, I would have never passed this exam. So this Swami slowly drew us to his fold and then gave us a place of recognition by taking us in the bhajan group, and then slowly took care of my career also. So this was such a wonderful experience. And then after that, we boys used to make frequent visits to Patti, and then one such visit, 4 of us had gone to Puttaparthi to have darshan of Swami in summertime, and then we were called in for an interview, and then again he told us about the bhajan singing and the intricacies involved. He said that you people are charged nicely when you are in Patti, but the moment you board the bus to Chennai, you behave yourself and you lose the charge. He said you have to carry the charge ever, and I always think that Swami is taking care of you. At that time, during that interview, my mom had also accompanied me. I was the last one to enter the interview room, and then I asked Swami, can I call my mom? Swami said, he hit me on the shoulder, and then he said, go in, and then he shut the door. Little did I know that what was in store, Swami had planned it differently. It so happened that just 10 days before Swami's birthday celebrations, my father, my mother and I visited Puttaparthi, and then immediately we were called for an interview. So Swami knew that he didn't want to give an interview to my mom without my father. So those were the etiquettes that Swami followed, which we are not aware of. So he gave us a beautiful interview, and then he materialized lingam for my mother, who was not keeping well, and then my father, true to his words, he was doing abhishekam on a daily basis and used to give her water. At the end of the private session, Swami said, you specialize in tax. It was 1985, now it's 35 years. I'm handling international tax and the domestic tax in a company placed in New Jersey. So Swami knew what was going to happen in future. We truly are blessed, and then I don't know how to thank or be grateful to Swami. There are other instances wherein I had experience with Swami like a room service opportunity way back in 1993 January. Probably we are running short of time. I'll go ahead with the closing remarks if you may allow me. With all humility, Kumar and I were trying to share our experience with Swami in physical form. During these difficult times of COVID, it gives a good feeling to be in satsang and share his story that was ultimately to become part of our history. We are sure each one of us has similar experience. Miracles do happen in everyone's life. We should be only humble enough to recognize it, be thankful and grateful to Swami. Swami has been taking care of every one of the creations. In my case, when I was forced to pursue the CA career, he was the only one to understand my soil plight, and then he was the one who I could depend on. So he gave me the result. Because 15 years of studying science and then moving out to chartered accountancy was a paradigm shift in my career, and then I thought my career ended there. So he lent his hands to bail me out. He always does it, and then he still keeps doing it. He's our true companion who always will travel with us. We should not get the feeling that in this life of samsara, in this ocean of samsara, we are sailing in a rudderless boat. No, we have a rudder. Only thing, we have to fix it properly so that we know our destination too, so that we can travel safely and then steadily to reach his lotus feet. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Kumar and Srinivasan, for wonderful singing and those wonderful experiences which reaffirm our faith in, Bhagavan. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being with us today, especially the satsang before the regional Akhanda bhajans. Look at, Swami sends wonderful singers to hear too, and also hear about all the discipline at Sundaram and all those things before Akhanda bhajans. So Swami knows when to, bring whom and for what satsang. So we are just mere instruments in his divine design. So again, on behalf of all the Region 3 devotees, thank you for coming today and being with us. With that, I pass on to our regional devotional coordinator, Sister Vinnie Raman. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, thank you, Balu. Truly, it was a treat to listen to the experiences and the love from both brothers Kumar as well as Srinivasan. Such beautiful experiences they've had, and what beautiful bhajan singing that we have experienced today. They are such simple bhajans, namasmarana, chanting divine name bhajans, and we also got to hear some of the rare bhajans which were sung in Sundaram that we don't sing these days. But looks like we will go back and listen to some of those bhajans because they're such beautiful, touch your heart so beautifully. Thank you to both Kumar and Srinivasan for bringing Swami's glory yet again into our hearts through such beautiful bhajans. We are truly blessed just before this Akhand Bhajan weekend to have you both as guest speakers. Thank you. Sai Ram, sisters and brothers of Region 3. Today's talk was our last for this year. As you are all aware, next weekend we'll have Akhand Bhajans, and the following week we'll celebrate Swami's birthday. After that, we'll have a short gap. Next year, starting next year, we'll have a new set of officers for the centers and the groups. And so we're looking forward to connecting with them, having officers training sessions, and then with Swami's hope and blessings, we hope to resume the devotional weekly meetings once again in the new year. Thank you all for attending the sessions, and please provide us with feedback if you would like to listen to something different for the next year. But please join us for next week's session, November 14th. We start at 6 p.m. sharp, singing Swami's Glory in 24-hour bhajan sessions. Please join us and stay back for bhajans and close-out prayers. Jai Sai Ram.
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात् 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्।
जय 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 हे गजानना। 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 गजवदना नंदन गजानना। पार्वती नंदन गजानना। पार्वती नंदन गजानना। पशुपति तनया गजानना। पशुपतितनया गजानना
पशुपतितनया गजानना
आदिपूज देव गजानना
आदिपूज देव गजानना
आदिपूज देव गजानना
आदिपूज देव गजानना
जय 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 हे गजानना
जननी जननी सत्यसाई शुभ जननी
सत्यसाई शुभ जननी
जननी जननी सत्यसाई शुभ जननी
सत्यसाई शुभ जननी
जगत्कारिणी परिपूरणी साईश्वरी जननी
जगत्कारिणी परिपूरणी साईश्वरी जननी
जगत्कारिणी परिपूरणी साईश्वरी जननी
जगत्कारिणी परिपूरणी साईश्वरी जननी
सत्यस्वरूपिणी जननी
सत्यस्वरूपिणी जननी
सत्यस्वरूपिणी जननी
सत्यस्वरूपिणी जननी
धर्मसंवर्धिनी जननी
धर्मसंवर्धिनी
ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर चांद और सूरज तुमने बनाए 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 नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर अयोध्या नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई 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 शिरडी पति तुमने बनाए शिरडी पति तुमने बनाए ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा चांद और सूरज तुमने बनाए सूरज तुमने बनाए नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा ब्रह्मांड नायक बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा अयोध्या नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई अयोध्या नगरी तुमने बनाई द्वारका नगरी तुमने बसाई शिरडी पति तुमने बनाए शिरडी पति तुमने बनाए शिरडी पति तुमने शिव 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 शिवाय नमो 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 हर 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 हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो शिव 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 शिवाय नमो शिव 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 शिवाय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो शिव 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 शिवाय नमो शिव शिव शिवाय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो शिव 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 शिवाय नमो शिव शिव शिवाय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो शिवाय नमो हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो हर 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 हराय नमो शिव 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 शिवाय नमो
हे भक्तिपुरेशा प्रशांती वासा साई मुरारी हे भक्तिपुरेशा प्रशांती वासा साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी साई मुरारी Sai Murari.
We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Sai Baba is watching over us. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Sai Baba is watching over us. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Sai Baba is watching over us. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Sai Baba is watching over us. We are here to sing your sweet name. 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 Let the light of your glory shine on us. Let the light of your glory shine on us. Let the light of your glory shine on us. Let the light of your glory shine on us. Bless us all with your presence good today. 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 We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. No more tears, no more sorrow, no more death. No more tears, no more sorrow, no more death. No more tears, no more sorrow, no more death. No more tears, no more sorrow, no more death. Sai, banish the darkness with your love. 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 We are born in the golden age of Sai. We are born in the golden age of Sai. We are born in the golden age of Sai. We are born in the golden age of Sai. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Sai Baba is watching over us. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Sai Baba is watching over us. We are here to sing your sweet name. We are here to sing your sweet name. Let the light of your glory shine on us. Bless us all with your presence good today. Bless us all with your presence good today. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. No more tears, no more sorrow, no more death. No more tears, no more sorrow, no more death. Sai, banish the darkness with your love. We are born in the golden age of Sai. We are born in the golden age of Sai. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Sai Baba is watching over us.
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्ति महेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आभस्वानः ॐ जय जगदीश माता पिता शांति 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 समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Sairam. Thought for the week. Only God's grace should protect the world. It is man's foremost duty to pray for God's grace. Prayer is of supreme importance. Together with melody and rhythm, you have to impart feeling to your singing to make the bhajan a sacred offering to the divine. A ragam, tune, without bhavam, feeling, is a rogam, an infliction. Giving up conceit and exhibitionism, you must sing the bhajans in a spirit of humility and devotion. That is the right way to perform bhajans. Nagarajan, in one of his songs, adjured the mind to chant Rama's name with full awareness of the power of the name. In daily life also, awareness is needed at every step and in every prayer. When all participants in a bhajan sing in unison, what sacred vibrations are produced and what divine energies are released. When these divine vibrations fill the world, what changes cannot they bring about? When one sings alone, the heart is merged in that song. But when many sing together, it acquires a divine power. That was the reason why Guru Nanak commended community singing. Satyasai Speaks, Volume 24. Sairam.
भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् अशीमवहु वहिष्ठेमस्ति उष्टास्ति उष्टाहमय शतशाय वहिष्ठायशि नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि श्मा इस्राएल अदोनाय एलोहेनु अदोनाय एहा अदोनाय एहा Adonai Echad. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. 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 साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति 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 परमं पवित्रं भावाविभूति परमं विचित्रं लीलाविभूति आत्मैष्टार्थमोक्ष Oh,